What is going on, community? It is TJ, aka Flash by Night, and we are back with the re-up. Of course, the re-up is the show where I come on or around New Comic Book Day to share my new comic book day pickups and whatever finds I may have found during the week when it comes to comic books. And today I have a few new comic books and also some that I have kind of found, from the last 2 or 3 weeks. Some I've missed out on in certain places. Some I just passed up and the opportunity came back around to grab them. And so I did. And we've got like 14 books total. So let's get into it. Go ahead, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and we're gonna jump right into my first new book. So the first book I have for this week, and I already gave it a read, and it was a pretty good book, but because I don't know the character really well, and I don't know, his surrounding cast, I don't know the Atlantis landscape really well, but I checked out Black Manta issue number 1, and I had some fun with it. I'm gonna have to go back and look up some of the characters. There was a character named Gallus the Goat, which is a great name for a character in here, and we basically have Black Manta kind of on an adventure and also questioning what his legacy is, going forward in the DC universe. And it's a solid book. It didn't knock my socks off. It didn't make me pause and make my eyes grow really big. It didn't do any of that, but it was a really solid start. His adventure led him to this new person who I'm not sure, again, whether or not this person is new or whether this person is an old character from the Atlantean lore. So we're going to have to find out what's going on. But Black Manta number 1 was the first book I got on New Comic Book Day. The next book I also read, Masters of the Universe Revelation issue number 3. Of course, we all know about the Netflix show Masters of the Universe Revelation. Think of it what you will, but Dark Horse Comics is putting out by Kevin Smith and Tim Sheridan, I think, a 4-part prequel to that show, and this is issue number 3. Really insightful if you want to know about Evil-Lyn and her upbringing, where she comes from, how she met Skeletor, and what part she kind of plays in his whole mission. That's kind of what you get in this book. The next book I have, also from Dark Horse, is Last Flight Out issue number 1. And I've heard this may be a good sleeper book. I think the synopsis kind of tells us that this is one of those kind of last days. The Earth is about to go all Krypton on us, and mankind has developed ways of flight, getting off of Earth, going elsewhere. But one of the engineers in whatever program this is, if I'm getting this correct, one of the engineers' daughter goes missing like right before the flight is supposed to take off and leave Earth. And that's kind of what our story is about. So we're going to check this out and see. It sounds pretty good. And like I said, I've heard, some good words about it. We'll check it out and see. My next 2 books I got by happenstance. I didn't read issue number 2 of this series, but for some reason I ordered issue number 3. And since I ordered 3 and issue number 4 was there, I picked it up also. But that is Blue Flame number 3 and Blue Flame number 4. I haven't even read issue number 1 yet. I'm not sure how I ended up with 3 and 4. Well, at least 3. But I have it, and it brings me to one of the things that I harp on. I don't harp on a whole lot, but I do harp on this one thing. If you order books at your LCS, pick up your books. Unless there's something catastrophic going on, pick up your books. Even if you ordered one that you didn't mean to order or you don't remember ordering, if you ordered it, pick it up. And that's what we did. Sometime sooner or later, I'll give Blue Flame a read and see what it's about. The next 2 books I have from Scout Comics: Black Cotton, issue number 4, and Black Cotton, issue number 5, which I kind of really like this cover. I am not sure how this gentleman gets to the point where he's at the edge of a sword, but apparently he's done something. I read issues number 1 and 2. I haven't read 3 yet, so I'll get a hold of 3 and then read through 4 and 5. But Black Cotton, of course, for those who haven't read it, is a story where basically there's a societal swap between black people and white people, where black people are more affluent, and there is a shooting that happens where this African American cop shoots this white female, and a whole social thing happens, and we'll see where it goes from there. I still need to catch up on the story, but it started out pretty good. But that's Black Cotton number 4, and of course, issue number 5. The next book I have, and this one is new. Not All Robots, issue number 2. I have not read issue number 1. I had a snafu while ordering, so I may end up reading it on Comixology just so I can catch up. But I heard that the first issue was great. Not All Robots is kind of a story about a society where robots have become a heavy part of society. They're doing all of the work, and humans have gotten lazy and everything. And there are debates between about the rights of robots and where they stand in society, if they have equal footing, all that kind of stuff. So I want to check this out and see what really happens in it. People have been digging Not All Robots, and so I assume that I will, and if you pick it up, you probably will too. Next, and I am so glad this is back on the shelf, Excellence, issue number 11 from Image Skybound. Excellence is basically a story about magic and this magic family and kind of the rules about magic in this society. Like, all of the magic users in this society belong to this organization called the Ages. There's like a tree of 10 families of magic users, and they have all of these rules and regulations. And our main character, whose name escapes me at this moment, our main character is a young man who does not agree with all of the rules that govern magic here, and he is determined to take Aegis down, come hell or high water. And I don't think there's high water in this book, if you know what I mean. Next book I have is one I really need to catch up on, but I'm going to continue to buy them because I know the story is good and the covers are always great. And that is Philadelphia, number 16. As far as I know, because I read issue 1, like I'm catching up on Philadelphia from a recent suggestion. Like I grabbed issues number 1 through 4 a few months back because somebody suggested it, and I saw it. I saw 1 through 4, on sale for a pretty good price. And basically Philadelphia is vampires, only the vampires are also like historic governmental figures. We'll put it that way, like ex-presidents and things like that. I don't know what's up with it. I'm going to have to sit down and read through the whole thing sometime soon, but I keep grabbing what I can grab on a monthly basis because I know it's going to be good, and like I said, the covers are fire. The next book I have is actually not from my shop. I recently went to Greensboro, North Carolina. I go there a few times a year. And I always visit two shops. And one shop I'm showing books from, which is Sailfish Comix. And the first book I got from Sailfish is Nocterra number 6. With this, I think it's a C cover with Bellwether on the cover. Val Riggs, who is the main character, her kind of best friend / dispatch. If you haven't been reading Nocterra, it's basically a story about the Earth going dark. And not only does the Earth go dark, but in the dark, there's, I don't know, poison in the atmosphere or something, but the dark is turning all kind of plants and wildlife and even people into these monsters called shades. And in issue number 5, Val and her brother Emery and a couple of other characters thought that they had found sanctuary. They thought they found utopia from the darkness that's been engulfing the earth. And it turns out that they've been set up all along by the person who's been housing them. And so issue number 6 is basically an issue about breaking out. And it went by a little fast for me. And they dropped a couple of hints of what's to come in the next story arc, kind of suddenly. But I still like the story. I still enjoyed the story. There are some questionable actions in this issue, but overall, Nocterra is still a good story. I assume that sometime soon there's going to be a trade paperback for issues 1 through 6. So if you haven't been reading Nocterra, a trade is probably a good way to catch up. But this is Nocterra issue number 6. The next book I have from Sailfish is definitely not anywhere close to a new comic book day book, but it is a book that's always up my alley, or at least a genre of book that's always up my alley, and I can always find at least one at Sailfish when I go. That's why they're my first stop whenever I'm in Greensboro, and that is the Lieutenant. What is this? Is it Lieutenant number 1? Is that what this sticker says? It's a 12 center. I don't even know how you can tell what issue it is. It also says it's from Metro Goldwyn 1964. It sounds like a Hollywood studio. I wonder if this is like a movie adaptation from maybe a movie called The Lieutenant. I'm not sure about that. All I know is whenever I go into Sailfish, I dig in the Silver Age boxes, and I can almost always find me a Silver Age Marine Corps themed book, and I'm always on the lookout for them, especially when they're a good price, like $3. That is what we do. So the Lieutenant, I guess issue number 1, maybe movie adaptation. I don't know, but I had to have it. And my last 2 books are 2 books that I missed out on when they first hit the stores, but I wanted them. You know I'm a Moon Knight fan, but I do not have a Werewolf by Night 32. So I needed at least a couple copies of Werewolf by Night 32, the facsimile. I grabbed those at Sailfish also. I kind of knew when I was going that they have, facsimiles on their wall, and people aren't as quick to snatch up the facsimiles in that area. And so I had a hunch that they'd have some in stock when I got there. And they had a few of them. I grabbed 2. I didn't want to be really greedy, but I grabbed 2 of them because I don't have a Werewolf by Night 32 actually. But we may be about to change that. And I say we may be about to change that because I am going to do something unique with my channel. This is kind of the announcement, is that I have 2 main hobbies. One being comic book collecting, and another I'm going to keep to myself for now. But I want to combine those 2 hobbies and hopefully end up with a Werewolf by Night 32 sometime down the road. We'll leave it at that, and I will leave it at this. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you saw something you liked. I thank you for sticking around with me. And of course, if you saw something you liked, hit the like button. If you would like to keep up with me picking up my comics, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Of course, leave comments. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. I forget which country song I stole that from. But as we always do at this time, love yourself, love others, and I will be back in a flash.